Live and uninterrupted, Brazil versus Russia. World Cup Grandstand, tomorrow at 8:30 on bbc2.
And don't forget, BBC1 is covering a World Cup match right now. Cameroon and Sweden are battling it out live from Los Angeles, where Sweden are 1-0 up. For golfing fans, BBC1 will be following the US Open three-way playoff between Montgomery, Els and Roberts, beginning at 11:10 tomorrow evening. And just before we say goodnight, a reminder that BBC Radios 1, 2 and 5 have plenty on offer well into the early hours. But for now, on behalf of all of us here on BBC2, this is Jane Westrop wishing you a very good night.
Angolan government radio has reported fierce fighting in the Central Highlands town of Quito. It spoke of heavy casualties there and listed fresh UNITA offensives in other parts of the country. The former United States President Jimmy Carter has said he believes the crisis over North Korea's nuclear program is over. He was speaking in Washington after telling President Clinton about his talks in North Korea last week with President Kim Il-sung. Mr. Carter said he hoped and expected further talks between the United States and North Korea to begin very soon, probably in Geneva. President Clinton's coordinator on Korea, Robert Gallucci of the State Department, said Mr. Carter's visit may have provided an opening to settle the dispute, but he said the United States wanted confirmation of President Kim's position through diplomatic channels. The White House has already said it's prepared to hold direct talks with North Korea if it suspends its nuclear programs. With most of the votes counted in Colombia in the second round of presidential elections, the Liberal Party candidate Ernesto Samper is maintaining his narrow first-round lead over his conservative rival Andrés Pastrana. So far, however, Mr. Samper's lead is less than 2%. In the first round 3 weeks ago, Mr. Samper led Mr. Pastrana by less than 1%. The incumbent president, Cesar Gaviria, has urged people not to let their disappointment at Colombia's defeat by Romania in the World Cup prevent them from voting. Troops and police were deployed in force to prevent trouble. Reports say several bombs exploded in the city of Medellin, causing damage but no casualties. Troops in Haiti have prevented a United States senator going to the border with the Dominican Republic on a fact-finding mission. Senator Bob Graham and diplomats from the US Embassy were turned back at a roadblock about 3 kilometers from the border. The incident came 2 days after the military-backed government imposed security measures, including a ban on foreigners visiting the border area without a special permit. Senator Graham described the move as the action of a totalitarian regime. Smuggling of products, including petrol, is believed to be taking place across the border into Haiti in defiance of international sanctions. Reports from Buenos Aires say Argentina and Britain will begin negotiations on the possible exploitation of offshore oil fields around the Falkland Islands at the beginning of next month. The reports quoted a government spokesman as saying it had been agreed that this would not affect the interests of the two countries in relation to the islands. In London, a Foreign Office spokesman said Britain was expecting to discuss cooperation with Argentina on offshore oil in the next few months. But he said Britain had given no commitment that development would only take place in cooperation with Argentina. This news